Welcome, everybody. We are here for our second of two public hearings on Thursday, August 26, 2026. This is at 5 p.m. 40 Glenida Avenue, room 102 in Carmel, New York. There are two local laws that we have a public hearing on this evening. This is the second and final public hearing for this local law that is scheduled. It is pursuant to Resolutions 196 and 198 of 2026. We will open and call this public hearing to order, and I will ask our capable Chief of Staff, Jacqueline Anabi, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Now we'll move to the reading of the public notices for this public hearing and those two resolutions that was posted in the official county newspaper. Again, back to Jacqueline Anabi.
So this local law is proposed local law pursuant to Resolution 196 and 198 of 2026. The first one is approval. Local law to amend the code of the County of Putnam by adding subsection E to Chapter 222 entitled Transparency Act. A local law to amend the code of the County of Putnam by adding this subsection E to the chapter entitled Transparency Act. The second local law, number 198, is the approval of a local law adopting the optional real property tax exemption for surviving spouses of police officers killed in the line of duty.
Thank you, Jacqueline. I know I'm going to share a few words likely on both of these proposals before we adjourn and close this public hearing. But I'm going to start by just opening it up I'll first start, if there's been any public comments submitted in writing or electronically, I'm going to ask our capable confidential secretary, Lisa Rangali, if anything has been submitted for either resolutions 196 or 198.
No public comments have been submitted.
Okay, great. So then we have those individuals who are in attendance. Is there any public comment? And if you need to go up once or twice for different pieces of legislation, you're more than welcome. Any members of the public that wish to provide public comment on either of these proposals in attendance?
If I may?
Sure.
All right.
Mr. Sean Boyd.
Yep, Sean Boyd, County Kent Councilman. One is for the school board to approve the property tax. That's great for that. Who is going to help? And that was the
surviving spouses of line of duty death police officers.
Yeah. How can you say no to that? The other one is for the open meeting law. So we'll see that in section E here. Meetings of political committees and so forth. So as you read down through it, I think this is a very tough one to have people. I'm in the committee. I'm in the Republican committee for the town of Kent. And here it says that if a legislature comes to our meeting, that the content of that meeting may be required to be public. And I don't think that's going to be good for our committee. Even though we'd love to have our legislator there, there is this political strategy that's discussed during these meetings, whether you're Republican or Democrat. I think that's something that is part of freedom of speech law, and I think it's just a bad idea. I think it either needs to be eliminated or reworded in such a manner that doesn't affect our local communities like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Councilman Boyd. Are there any other comments from the public on either proposal from folks in attendance? There being none, I'm just going to share a few words, a little bit out of order. I apologize if folks have difficulty tracking, but for Resolution 198, the least controversial, a local law adopting the optional real property tax exemption for surviving spouses of police officers killed in the line of duty. I want to thank a widow of an NYPD police officer who lost his life in the line of duty for contacting our office earlier this year and advocating for this important legislation. I also want to recognize the Police Conference of New York for advocating for this legislation. Earlier this year, the legislature and me as your county executive enacted a property tax exemption that increased the ability for seniors, for eligible seniors. I thought that was very important. Unfortunately, the legislature wasn't able to act on this specific proposal early enough to take effect this year. But with the information that we received from the widow, from the Police Conference of New York, from our capable team in real property tax with Trish McLaughlin. Our office was able to compile all of the information that this is capable. We're able to do this because the state passed enabling legislation to allow local governments to provide this new property tax exemption. They put this together, and I want to recognize and thank the two legislators that helped advance this forward. Our capable Chief of Staff, Jacqueline Anabi, reached out to both legislators Tommy Regan, the Chair of Protective Services, as well as the legislator Jake D'Angelo earlier this year, giving them all this information with a request that they consider introducing it. I know they did, and I believe this was unanimously passed by the legislature. It's important legislation, but it is important also for folks to realize this is just for the county share of property taxes. Now, the Carmel Central School District, with its school board, John Curzio happens to be NYPD, advanced near identical or identical legislation. So that means it's really meaningful because that exemption is going to apply for their school taxes as well. But for the county government, this is countywide. I think when people talk about the tax shift, yes, when we have an exemption on assessments, it does shift the burden of that cost on other taxpayers. And I recognize that. And there's a cost to that. But there's a debt that we owe these families that should never be lost. And we as a community need to step up and make sure that we fill that as well. We pay that debt. And I think this is one of many ways as a county we do that because we are a county that stands up for our active military veterans, first responders, including our police. So very pleased to support that, and I'm grateful to all those who helped advance that forward. On the other item, number 196, Resolution 196, which speaks to the Taxpayer Transparency Act, or Transparency Act, and the comments that was recently shared by Councilman Sean Boyd. The Taxpayer Transparency Act, if you follow the news or our public hearings earlier in the month, we already had one. So this legislation, the vast majority of it is now already codified in law. We worked extremely hard on it with a number of legislators. It was stalled for several years. Legislator Russo advanced it. It got to the full. It failed by one vote, came back. It's been rejiggered a bunch of different times. Legislator Regan put it back in again, and it eventually passed. So literally, unless I'm missing a syllable or some punctuation, the entire thing is codified with the exception of subsection E. So that's important because we've already signed into law, into county code legislation that now codifies the live streaming of public meetings of the legislature as well as public hearings of county executive, including this one right here. So I think that's really important because we want our public meetings accessible to all people, regardless of their ability, regardless of their work schedule. If you're a single parent and you need to stay home with your child and you can't go to a busy public hearing or a legislative meeting, you should be able to watch it in real time. You should be able to criticize your elected officials. You should be able to send your comments. And if you're someone who's hard of hearing, you shouldn't have to rely on an audio-only presentation like prior administrations had in the past during COVID. Some of that was because of technology limitations, but we're in a place where it's very easy to live stream. Many folks advocated for this for a long time, and it's really good that we got it done. We signed it into law earlier this month. Subsection E goes way beyond that now. So I'm going to read that subsection E. And this, I believe, was added with very limited discussion within the legislature. So I'm not sure most legislators even know that this was what they were voting on. And I hate to be presumptive there, but it certainly begs the question, and only they could answer that. But subsection E says, and I'm going to quote this, meetings of political committees, conferences, and caucuses of members of the county legislature who are members or adherents of the same political party, at which deliberations of county legislative matters are to be discussed, shall be publicly noticed, and such notice shall contain the date and time and place of such meeting, and such notice shall contain the subject matter proposed to be under discussion. Following such political committee, conference, or caucus meeting, there shall be a public record of those members of the county legislature in attendance, as well as a synopsis of such items of county legislative matters discussed. Now, while I am certainly encouraged to see the legislature want to put into law something that regulates themselves and opens up the legislative process in county government and their independent branch of government, what is troublesome is some of the language in here is not defined. Political committees are interpreted to broadly, where they can meet government sub-political committees, but also, as shared earlier by Mr. Boyd, it also very clearly can be interpreted as partisan political committees, of which the legislators, many of them, are a part of, if not all of them. Somewhat shockingly, in our county charter, it expressly prohibits the county executive from being an elected member of a political committee. So I can only be a member as a courtesy within the bylaws of the Republican Party as an ex officio member, which is non-voting and not elected. But there are legislators on those political committees. The issue at hand, too, isn't just about them participating in those meetings. If the intent of the legislature is to prohibit legislators from being on those committees, I think that should be said properly, the same way that it's restricted on the county executive. If that's their intent, it should say that. If they don't mean partisan political committees, it should say that. It does not. And when it tasks the assignment of posting a synopsis of such items of county legislative matters being discussed, it does not assign that task to any individual or office or branch of government. It's unclear if that's tasked to those political committees, the clerk of the legislature, IT. It's unclear. I think those things need to be properly stated. It also needs to be properly stated is the synopsis, the minutes of the meetings. And I think the county would be better informed if it had an actual legal opinion on its ability to regulate and mandate the posting of public meetings and public notices of outside political committees that are governed by state law and their own bylaws, not by county government, specifically the Republican, the Democrat, the Conservative, and other party committees. Those are just some questions and concerns that I have that I don't believe are addressed anywhere in this subsection. I will share that because it regulates predominantly the legislature and it passed, I believe, unanimously by the legislature, with Mr. D'Angelo absent, but all others voting yes. What I am going to do, I need to act on this, I believe, by tomorrow, or it becomes law. So I'm going to just give out a statement for anyone who has concerns or wants to express support. Please continue to contact our office at the county executive's office. You can call us at 845-808-1001. You can email us at countyexecutive@putnamcountyny.gov. While your comments won't be included for the purposes of this public hearing, you can rest assured that those comments will be reviewed by me personally before I make a decision. As county executive, I have the ability to do a couple different things. I could sign it and approve it. I could veto it and send it back to the legislature, which would seem to be futile unless legislators go on record and say that this was a mistake and they want to revisit it, because they could simply just override it. Or I could do a memorandum expressing and documenting some of these concerns, allowing it to go into effect without my signature, and continuing to share the need for an actual legal opinion on this and how it is expected to be enforced. No county executive can really properly enforce a law without a mechanism listed. So those are some of my comments, and I have not made a decision on what I will do. So again, if you would like to call our county executive office, 845-808-1001. You also can email our office at countyexecutive@putnamcountyny.gov. That being said, that's just one subsection of this document. Everything else in it, I think, is very good, and it's why we already did it a couple weeks ago. So regardless of the outcome of this proposal, taxpayer transparency, for the first time, for a real time, it is codified in Putnam County Code, and I appreciate all those who did make that happen. So with that, and no other public comments being seen, I appreciate your time. This public hearing is adjourned.